What is your compass reading, Powers? I don't know where we are. Must have gotten lost after that last turn.
What happened is that the ship kind of became part of the Bermuda Triangle myth.
Over the last 100 years, more than 50 ships and 20 airplanes have been lost to the mystery of the Bermuda Triangle. It's a stark reminder that the vast unknown still exists on our small planet.
All new at 6, lost in the Bermuda Triangle. At least that's what people thought happened to a ship that just in the 1920s vanished.
From an entire squadron vanishing without a trace to ghost ships abandoned near the coast, it makes you wonder, what is the Bermuda Triangle hiding? We are Unearthed Mysteries, and today we're going to talk about some of the most puzzling disappearances of the Bermuda Triangle. The Bermuda Triangle, best known as the Devil's Triangle, is an area in the western part of the North Atlantic Ocean. While exact coordinates may vary across accounts, it's generally delineated by Miami, Bermuda, and San Juan. Over the past 100 years, the Bermuda Triangle has earned a reputation for being responsible for several unexplained disappearances of ships and aircraft. Before we get into the 10 most puzzling disappearances, let's talk a little about the strange geographical location of the triangle. The Bermuda Triangle is a busy corridor for both maritime and air traffic, with frequent severe weather patterns such as hurricanes and sudden storms. Now, combine that with the reports of navigational anomalies, and you'll have enough fuel for countless conspiracy theories about aliens and time warps. Let's look at the first of many disappearances at the Bermuda Triangle. 1. The USS Cyclops. The USS Cyclops, a massive collier ship, was perhaps the first to vanish without a trace in 1918. The Cyclops was en route from Brazil to Baltimore, Maryland, with a cargo of manganese ore and 309 people on board. Despite being in communication with naval authorities the whole time, the ship failed to arrive at its destination, and no distress signals were received. Even after combing through the surrounding waters multiple times, there was still no evidence of the ship's whereabouts. Many suggest structural failure due to the heavy cargo, but where's the actual collier ship? And how come none of the 309 people on board survived? 2. Flight 19. But that was only the first of many disappearances to come. On December 5, 1945, 5 TBM Avenger torpedo bombers first took off from Naval Air Station Fort Lauderdale for a routine training mission. The plan was to fly east from Florida, execute a bombing practice over the Hens and Chickens Shoals, then head north and return to base. Sounds simple enough, right? The flight was led by Lieutenant Charles Taylor, a highly experienced pilot, but it only took about 90 minutes into the flight until the squadron began to experience navigational issues. Taylor sent chilling radio transmissions, saying he was unsure of his location and that the compasses were malfunctioning.
What is your compass reading, Powers? I don't know where we are. Must have gotten lost after that last turn.
As the situation worsened, the squadron's last recorded communication said that the pilots were disoriented and unable to find a safe way home. Despite multiple attempts to guide them back, rescuers could not save them, and the squadron disappeared without a trace. Soon enough, a rescue plane, a PBM Mariner, was dispatched to search for Flight 19, but it also vanished with 13 crew members aboard. No wreckage from either the squadron or the rescue plane was ever found, leaving the mystery of Flight 19 unsolved to this day. 3. The Carroll A. Deering. The Carroll A. Deering, a 5-masted schooner, is another haunting case associated with the Bermuda Triangle. The grand ship was built in 1919 and was on a return voyage from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil to Newport News, Virginia, carrying a cargo of coal when it, you guessed it, vanished in the Bermuda Triangle. The ship was last seen on January 28, 1921, near the Cape Lookout Lighthouse in North Carolina. The lighthouse keeper who saw the Deering reported that someone aboard the ship, not the usual officer, shouted through a megaphone, asking for directions to Cape Fear. So it's possible that the ship might have been off course. 3 days later, on January 31st, the Carroll A. Deering was found run aground on Diamond Shoals. This area, off the coast of Cape Hatteras, North Carolina, is known for its unpredictable weather. When rescue teams boarded the vessel, they found it completely abandoned, with no trace of the crew. But that's not all. It was the state of the ship that truly had rescuers scratching their heads. It was largely intact, with the ship's personal belongings, clothing, and supplies still in place. Confusingly enough, key items like the ship's log, navigational equipment, and lifeboats were missing. The galley appeared ready for a meal that was never eaten, which indicates a chilling and sudden abandonment. 4. Star Tiger. The Star Tiger was an Avro 2-4 aircraft operated by British South American Airways (BSAA). On January 30th, 1948, it began its journey from Lisbon, Portugal to Bermuda, with plans to continue to Kingston, Jamaica. 25 people were on board, including crew and passengers. The flight proceeded normally during its first leg, stopping at the Azores to refuel. After leaving the Azores, the Star Tiger flew a low-altitude route, skimming just 2,000 feet above the Atlantic Ocean to avoid strong winds and turbulence. This flight path, however, was an unusual and risky one. Thankfully, the plane maintained contact with air traffic control, even stating an expected arrival in Bermuda on schedule. The last recorded communication from the Star Tiger came when Captain B.W. McMillan confirmed the aircraft's position and provided an estimated time of arrival. However, the plane never reached Bermuda, and any subsequent attempts to contact it failed. Several U.S. and British aircraft and ships were sent for rescue and search, yet no trace of the Star Tiger or its occupants was ever found. 5. Star Ariel. Only a year after the loss of the Star Tiger, another aircraft, an Avro 2-4, disappeared, similar to the British South American Airways (BSAA) aircraft. The Star Ariel was en route from Bermuda to Kingston, Jamaica on January 17, 1949, carrying 7 crew members and 6 passengers. The Star Ariel's journey began without incident. It took off from Bermuda in clear weather, and all initial communications with air traffic control were routine. The flight's captain, J.C. McPhee, even provided his estimated time of arrival and reported being on course. However, shortly after takeoff, radio contact was lost, and no one was able to re-establish communication with the aircraft. Even after an extensive search and rescue operation by U.S. and British authorities, no evidence of the Star Ariel or its occupants was found. What makes this so confusing is the complete lack of debris or distress signals. It seemed like the passengers had no idea about their fate until it was too late to ask for help. 6. SS Marine Sulphur Queen. The SS Marine Sulphur Queen was a T-2 tanker ship designed during World War II to transport oil. On February 2, 1963, the Marine Sulphur Queen set sail from Beaumont, Texas, bound for Norfolk, Virginia, with a crew of 39 men. The journey had no incidents for several days. However, on February 4th, the last radio communication from the ship was received, stating that it was in a normal position and on course. After that, no other communications were received, and the SS Marine Sulphur Queen failed to arrive at its destination. The U.S. Coast Guard and other naval resources were dispatched to locate the missing ship, but to no avail. They did, however, find minimal evidence, a few pieces. It's hard to say what happened to the ship, but most theories point to structural weaknesses due to it being a fairly new sulfur carrier. The intense heat required to keep molten sulfur in a liquid state can easily compromise the ship's structural integrity and cause it to sink. If the ship had unexpectedly exploded, that would explain the lack of any distress signal and the limited debris. Plus, the Gulf Stream's strong ocean current could have quickly dispersed any wreckage. 7. Douglas DC-3. The Douglas DC-3 was operated by Flightline and carried 32 people, including passengers and crew. It vanished while on a routine flight from San Juan, Puerto Rico to Miami, Florida in December 1948. The Douglas DC-3 was a twin-engine airliner created for use in civilian and military aviation. The flight originally departed from San Juan late at night on December 28, 1948. The pilot, Captain Robert Lindquist, was highly experienced, and the aircraft was considered to be in good condition. The weather was also pleasant, with clear skies and calm winds, so it seemed like the Douglas DC-3 had everything in its favor. During the journey, the DC-3 even maintained regular communication with air traffic control, reporting its position and estimated time of arrival in Miami. The final communication from the aircraft was from Captain Lindquist, who reported that it was about 50 miles southeast of Miami and that it was expected to land within 20 minutes. Unfortunately, the DC-3 never reached its destination, and no one was able to contact them again. Yes, each story is as haunting and confusing as the next, but with the recent advancements in technology, how come no one knows what happened to these ships and planes? Well, scientists and the general public have not refrained from offering up their theories and possible explanations. While some of them are truly credible, others must be taken with a grain of salt. For us non-aviation folks, it's easy to forget just how tricky it can be to navigate at sea, especially in a time before advanced GPS technology. Many experts consider human error a major factor in some of the Bermuda Triangle's disappearances. Take Flight 19 for instance. The squadron of 5 torpedo bombers vanished in 1945 after getting lost over the Atlantic Ocean. The lead pilot reported that his compass wasn't working correctly, and the other pilots seemed to have similar issues. When you're flying or sailing in a region with known navigational anomalies, it's not hard to see how a slight mistake could cause your demise. The Bermuda Triangle is notorious for its unpredictable weather. It's not just about the occasional storm. This area is prone to severe hurricanes and sudden squalls that can catch even experienced sailors off guard. The Gulf Stream, a powerful ocean current running through the triangle, can also play a role. It can carry debris away quickly, making it hard for rescuers to find any trace of a wrecked ship or aircraft. Given these factors, it's not surprising that most of these ships and planes were never found. Now, here's an interesting theory that sounds like it came straight out of a disaster movie. Some researchers suggest that the Bermuda Triangle might have methane hydrates beneath the ocean floor. These are gas deposits that, if disturbed, could erupt and release massive amounts of methane gas. If this happens under a ship, the water could lose its buoyancy, causing the vessel to sink pretty fast. While it's an interesting theory, the evidence for it is pretty thin. Okay, this one is a bit out there, but any conspiracy theorist will tell you it's the only answer. Some people believe that extraterrestrial forces could be behind the disappearances in the Bermuda Triangle. The sudden and unexplained nature of these incidents suggests that UFOs might be involved. It's a popular idea in movies and TV shows, but most experts don't take it seriously. Without any solid evidence, this theory is more science fiction than science fact. Speaking of sci-fi, this theory might be one of our favorites despite not being too credible. Some believe that the Bermuda Triangle could be home to time warps or wormholes, basically portals to other dimensions. This could explain why ships and planes vanish without leaving behind any wreckage or other clues. While it's an exciting concept to think about, there's not enough evidence to support it. While we can hope that the mystery of the Bermuda Triangle will be solved in our lifetime, it's currently hard to say what truly happened to those missing ships and planes. These disappearances spark a lot of questions for the human mind. What did the crew and passengers see in their last moments? Are they perhaps still alive, stranded on an island? And what lies beneath the treacherous waters of the Gulf Stream? Thank you for watching the Bermuda Triangle's most puzzling disappearances. Subscribe to our channel if you're interested in learning about more unexplainable mysteries. Until next time.